you? Did I do that?
We have the meat.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All rise, order in the court. It's time for us to all be stared at strangely by Kevin Herrick, a.k.a. What was the bald dude's name on Night Court?
Bull Shannon.
Bull. First name's fine.
Oh, sorry.
Way to show me up there.
They wanted me to dig deep. I thought this was a test. I thought I was getting out my paper and pencil. Number 2.
There's Kevin, very woke. So we're over here today. You said we got a protection order, though. We can.
Yeah, we got that we can jump to here in a few minutes. Between White versus White, taking each other on in Judge Dude's court.
A race thing, or
no. It's, husband and wife. Matter of fact,
because I mean, was it yesterday that everybody thought that they were talking about wolves?
Yes, the wolves.
Half an hour in. Oh, that's their name.
Their name. Oh, okay.
Oh,
got you. Isn't this usually where we would see this beautiful face? Why is she not there?
I think it is, isn't it? Maybe. God, she needs a day off once in a while. Okay,
maybe. Is that the judge right there? Judge Adams is. She seems very depressed.
I believe so. Well, if you had to work with Kevin Herrick, wouldn't you?
I do like the court reporter's cotton candy here.
Yes, very nice.
Just bite it.
Well, let's jump in here, see if anything's going on. If not, we'll jump over to that and we'll go from there. How about that?
They did have a dispute with one another. It began with a verbal argument. The defendant then headbutted the victim in the face, and that started a physical altercation. As they were fighting on the floor, the defendant bit the victim several times about her body.
Oh, God.
Most notably, bit her lip.
Jeez. What did we step into?
Most notably bit her lip, causing a portion of her lip to come off. Your Honor, this incident was caught on surveillance, and the victim did have to go to the hospital and received 17 stitches in relation to this happening with her lip. Your Honor, the defendant—
I'm sorry, Mr. Bridges worked at the Burger King?
Yes, Your Honor. Him and the victim worked there together.
Oh, that happened at the Burger King, shutting down 400 restaurants, by the way, Burger King.
Yes, Your Honor. One prior felony conviction, that is from May 22nd of 2009. That is out of Richland County, South Carolina.
Columbia.
He was given 3 years on probation. 15 months of those were to serve, and the balance was probated. Excuse me. So 3 to serve, 15 months, and the balance was probated.
I'm sorry. 52209 in Columbia, South Carolina. What was the charge?
It's Richland, South Carolina, Your Honor, and it was possession.
Richland's not a city. Richland's a county.
Yeah.
Oh, burn.
Yes, Your Honor. Richland County, South Carolina.
Right, which is Columbia. As I said, what is the charge?
It is possession with intent to distribute marijuana.
And the sentence again?
3 to serve, 15 months, and the balance is probated.
So Judge Adams don't play. Huh?
Go ahead. Anything else?
No,
that's all,
she's
Judge.
Not messing around.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Judge. The offense at issue here occurred November 15th of 2017, which I think we can all agree 6 years ago is quite a long time. And since then, Mr. Bridges has not had any subsequent felony arrests, nor has he had a subsequent felony arrest since the 2009 conviction, which, to give this court some context, took place right around my first year of college. So it has been a good bit of time.
I'm not sure that provides any context, Ms. Harrison.
That is
17, that's enough.
Yes, Judge. So Mr. Bridges essentially was not getting along with a coworker of his who was transgender, and that made Mr. Bridges uncomfortable. There was some repeated advances where Mr. Bridges felt like he was being sexually assaulted, was I think the phrase that he used. A fight broke out. The fight is on surveillance camera footage, and you can see both Mr. Bridges and Miss Rogers sort of tussling around. Sometimes one person's on top, sometimes the other one is on top. Mr. Bridges wanted it to be very clear to the court that this was a fist fight, that they were not using any weapons, that this was a fight two of them got into. And the manager at the time actually kicked both of them out, told them both that she was calling the police, and sent both of them home from work, at which point Miss Rogers went to the hospital and the police got involved. Mr. Bridges would very much like to resolve this case and get on with his life. This will be his second felony conviction ever. It would be his first had he committed the possession with intent in a state that had a first offender statute, which South Carolina does not, unfortunately. At the time of his arrest, Judge, recently, when he ended up in jail, he was working as a tattoo artist in a shop called Noop Noop. That's Noop, Noop, Noop
Is that
Noop's
whoop
Tattoos
whoop?
in South Carolina.
Whoa, whoa.
And he had been working there since leaving Georgia and going back to South Carolina in about 2018. He moved to South Carolina in part because he wanted to distance himself from the type of stuff that was happening where he felt like he was getting in trouble. He's close with his children. He has several children in South Carolina that he was living with, but his plan now is to return and stay with his father or his cousin in the state of Georgia. He actually came to Georgia originally, having discovered who his father was, to meet him, and that was back in maybe 2015 before this occurred. He does have 2 years of college, Judge. He did some physical therapy classes and graduated in 1999 from Spring Valley High School. With this in mind, Judge, we would ask the court to accept the resolution as negotiated.
That was a mouthful.
Mr. Calhoun, anything?
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
So,
Across
Mr.
his
Bridges,
mouthful. He needs a mouthful.
I understand better now from the information that Ms. Harrison has provided in mitigation of the charges. I was wondering if there is the kind of stress involved in making whoppers that would cause somebody to get into a fist fight and bite somebody's lip, such that required 13 stitches. That's a lot.
I love this judge already.
Just close combat. He was in my face.
So is it a male, is transgender, was it another man, or was it a woman transitioning to a male?
I'm not sure, ma'am. I'm not used to.
Not ma'am.
I'm sorry, Judge. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure what it was. All I know is it was jealous of a female that wanted to engage with me. I worked hard. It was a bit of jealousy. I'm not really positive, to be honest with you. I just was honestly defending myself. I'm sorry that it happened. I don't get in trouble. I don't cause any trouble. I have 15 children. I'm a family man.
How many children?
I have 15 children.
That's several.
I don't. Things like this don't happen to me. That was the first time of me coming to Georgia. South Carolina, we don't.
He come plenty somewhere.
Interact with. I wasn't used to. I don't know what to say, but
there's transgender people everywhere, sir.
It was the first time encountering a person like that, and I think they were jealous of me. And it was a simple fight. It was a long time ago. I don't get in any trouble, ma'am. Judge.
15. Wow.
I don't know. I'm sorry that it happened. I just want to get it past me.
So you never went back to, you lost your job at Burger King at that time, and you've worked in a couple of different capacities, at least the last of which was as a tattoo artist.
Yes, Judge.
How do you support 15 children?
Not at Burger King.
Tattooing.
Right.
Do you support all 15 doing that work?
I pay child support for 4, and the other, I'm in their lives consistently.
So you financially support 4 of your children. The other 11
4 of them are on child support through me.
Okay, so how do you provide any financial assistance to the other 11? Financial support?
That's consistent.
Do you intend to have more children? I'm just curious.
Sure, why not?
I'm a 39-year-old man. I'm I'm good at relationships. I'm very fertile. I can't promise.
How many
I know.
mothers are there?
I'm good.
I'm very fertile.
So that doesn't sound like you're good at relationships to me, but
Well,
it sounds like you're virile, but it doesn't sound like necessarily you're good at relationships. If you have 15 children, by 8 different, let me finish my observation, sir.
8 different
If you have 15 children by 8 different mothers, I mean, I'm just wondering.
How can you say you're good at a relationship then, right?
Terrible.
I mean,
At what
8
point
baby mamas.
the childbearing and making babies ends if you're not able to fully support all of your children. Because if you can't support them, somebody has to, right?
Correct. Well, I've been doing a pretty good job so far.
Wow.
How old is the oldest child?
21,
And the youngest?
7 months.
And they've all
Hold
been
on.
in school, they're graduating from high school or on track to
math.
graduate?
My oldest daughter, she has been working, but my second to the oldest is going to college after she graduates.
Right, I didn't ask about college, I asked about high school. So they're
High
all,
school, yes, she's
Had
done
his
high
first
school,
kid
my
when he
oldest.
was
no.
either 17 or
Are
18.
your children in school
that's about right.
or graduated or on track to graduate from high school?
Nah.
Yes,
So now your intention is to come back to Georgia and to do what?
Impregnate as many people as I can.
Start my business over as tattoo artist and move my 3 oldies down here with me.
Buy a new
My father
bass speaker.
needs my help. I have a cousin that needs help. I'm just going to start my life back over.
Wow.
I just want to start my life back over, man. I just got
Well, late for
over a
that.
bad relationship.
Mr. Bridges,
He got
I'm
over
not
a bad
mad.
relationship.
it's the last time I'm going to tell you
I'm
that.
very southern. I'm
I
sorry.
appreciate
Judge.
that, but being in court has nothing to do with being Southern.
He calls it a buggy.
I'm sorry,
Very
Judge.
southern.
I bet you he says wolves.
But honestly, I
Yeah.
just want to
Well, I say wolves.
recuperate from this moment and just start my life back over and get my children back in my life. I'm very close to my children. I don't have the greatest children's mother, so.
I thought you said you were good at relationships.
Well, like I said, I leave when it's bad. So
Are you good at relationships or are you not? Are you just good at making
Oh,
babies?
It's got a sound club.
No, I'm good at relationships.
Hmm.
I'm good at relationships. I'm good at judging character. I give anyone a chance, as long as they're not harming me. When it comes to harm and untrustworthiness, is just, it's time to let go.
Let go of what?
But as a father, I'm a great father.
Are you before the court pleading guilty because you wish to do so?
Pirati said 8.
Yes, Your Honor.
8.
Have you had an opportunity to fully discuss with Ms. Harrison the facts and circumstances of your case and any possible defenses you might have been able to raise had your case
Yes.
proceeded to trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with her services?
Very much.
I'll let
Need
you
any
out.
additional time to speak with her?
If you can tell us all
No.
of your kids'
The
birthdays.
prosecutor
Go.
explained a number of constitutional rights that you've waived by pleading guilty. Did you understand them all?
Yes, Judge.
3 cats.
You
and a
understand
dog.
that by pleading guilty, you've waived the right to a jury trial where the state
than
would
a
have
dog.
been required to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, Judge.
You also have waived the right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses the state might have called to testify against you and to compel the production of witnesses and/or evidence you might have offered in your own defense.
Yes, Judge.
You have further waived the right to remain silent and not testify against yourself.
I do.
Are you freely and voluntarily waiving all of the rights that were explained to you by the prosecutor and your attorney, along with those that have been emphasized by the court, with a full understanding of the rights that you're giving up?
Yes, I have, Judge.
Have you been offered anything to plead
I have.
guilty?
Not at all.
Have you been threatened or coerced in any way to plead guilty?
No.
Do you fully understand the facts and circumstances of your case?
Yes, I do, Judge.
And is it in fact your decision to plead guilty?
Yes, it is.
Right? The court then will accept your plea as being knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily entered with Ms. Harrison's advice and consent. I find that there is a factual basis for the plea, and I will sentence you as follows. As to count 1, aggravated battery, the court sentences you
Well,
Cliffhanger.
to 3 years to serve a year in custody, which I will commute to the time that you have served, with the balance of your sentence to be served on probation. You will be subject to all of the general conditions of probation. The special conditions are that you shall have no contact whatsoever
Sharon.
with the victim in this case.
I don't think that'll be a problem. This
Yeah,
guy's so
Judge,
hot.
can we add in this vasectomy thing? I think that's a good idea.
This guy's so hot. Even the transsexuals at Burger King are trying to get with him. He's just out there spreading the seed around. My God, 15 children.
Craziness as far as what he's there for with the fight and all, where it took place, and then to find out more about him is just.
Your Honor, I'm fantastic with relationships. I'm just picking the wrong people to have them with, Your Honor. Not my fault. Bad judge of character.
Tech troublemaker, ladies and gentlemen.
Tech troublemaker, how many kids you got by how many women's? Let's hear it.
This guy's got 15
by 8
children between 7 months and 21 years old. Did he say he was a grandpa, by the way? I think
I thought he alluded to that. I thought he said that, but I mean, I also thought somebody said leave yesterday twice, and they said police.
Don't bring that up. Nah, it never happened. Never happened. Don't even start with me on that.
My hearing is not good. We cannot count on my hearing.
That's true. I did hear a spit as well. Another thing about this, I love how with the Richland County thing and the
Kalonda or Kaylonda, Kaylonda Rogers.
Columbia.
You further will be required to stay away from the Burger King located at 2740 Greenbrier Parkway Southwest in Atlanta 30331.
Pizza man. Damn, that's a good looking pizza.
And I'm going to require you to complete an anger management course.
He's good at relationships, by the way.
As to count 2, aggravated assault, that offense merges with count 1. You will receive credit for the time that you served in custody. Any questions regarding your sentence?
I know, Judge. I appreciate everything that you're doing for me.
Just a word of advice for you, Mr. Bridges. You can make as many children as you'd like, but you need to be able to support those children. So,
right, Crass?
irrespective of how good you might think you are at relationships, before you make any more babies, I think you need to ask yourself the question whether you will be able to support the child and be an active part of the child's life. We have enough, I think, young people who are struggling, particularly with not having present fathers.
He's not.
Yeah.
Anything else on your client's behalf, Ms. Harrison?
No, Judge. It's 3-1 commuted to time served, correct?
Vincent.
Judge,
Ms. Marsh?
Mad at you.
Yes, Judge.
Right, that will be the sentence of the court.
I'm sorry, I was saying yes, and then I was asking what, Your Honor, I heard you call my name.
Anything else?
Oh, nothing
I
further.
announce the sentence.
This judge is
Nothing
no
further.
bull.
Right, that will be the sentence of the court. This matter is adjourned.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, I need to speak with the defendant. This is his first time on probation.
Kevin Herrick's
Let me see.
got some weird looks to him, and he's like he's got this like crazy eyeballs thing happening up.
To me, he kind of looks like a very if
Right,
Kurt Angle had a really
So you'll send them to a breakout room?
bad Percocet problem. Wait a minute, he did.
Uh,
Never mind.
Let's hang out here for just a second. I think
Absolutely.
I think she just said that it's adjourned, though, or maybe she was just talking about that case.
That one, yes. I think she was just talking about that case.
Yeah, let's see. I we're not going to beat that, but let's just see. Let's try anyway.
He not only assaulted the person at work at the Burger King, bit their lip off.
It was allegedly trans as well, right?
He couldn't tell if it was
Right,
a
let me try to
man
take
becoming a woman or a woman becoming a man. He said he's not used to that kind of thing. He's led a very sheltered life, obviously, with these 15 children and 8 women.
Imagine how many women he didn't knock up. If he's knocked up,
oh my God,
Mr. Laro's
he's
case.
prolific. C-word
That's Ms.
man.
Harrison's case as well, I believe. Is it not, Ms. Bell?
C. Smith, you say?
Yes.
Position
Is that-
12.
That would not be her case. If it is a PD case, it would be mine. I just didn't know any of these people that are listed as attorneys.
Flusher, what if
It's
you
actually
found
my
out that's
case. I'm
Lisa's
sorry, Judge.
husband?
Attorney William Arnold.
Could you
You've
imagine?
been waiting for a while, Mr. Arnold. I wasn't sure
Poor
why you were
Lisa.
here.
My God.
Have you entered an appearance, sir?
I have, Judge. Last week, we were hired on Thursday, I believe.
I've
Wonder what-
never seen Judge Adams. I'm glad
Ever.
that some of you have.
Ever.
I am an instant fan.
I am too. And I'm curious about what Megan Harris has that she's got this mask on to protect us from it. Wonder what she has.
I make those jokes all the time, by the way, when I see people out and about, all still wrapped up.
I think they got something. I think something's wrong with them.
I know that's what I think instantly. I'm like, you've got to be sick and you're out here. That's why I could be completely wrong. Hello, Kay.
Kay.
Always good to see you.
I bet Kay's got more views on her videos than we do.
He's killing it. Hello, Courtney.
By the way, I don't know if you guys heard, we made a guest appearance last night, unknowingly.
That's right.
Without our faces, only our voices were heard on Law Talk with Mike last night.
You didn't show the whole clip, though, you wimp.
Yeah. Someone sent that to him, Creed.
That's when he almost flipped it out. How many months ago was that we found that?
A year ago, Creed.
That's what I thought. The trucker that was
peeing in the cup.
Caught peeing in the cup live.
So if you guys thought that you heard our voices, you did. That was us on Law Talk with Mike. A lot of people, I think one person was saying that they would love to see you and me on Law Talk with Mike, that it would be a dream come true just for some of them. And it got like 40 likes, which is a lot. I was very surprised.
Really?
Most liked comment of all comments on that thread.
We usually just get shit on.
Usually they crap all over us. But yesterday,
No, I appreciate. By the way, Law Talk with Mike did properly give us,
what did he call us? Credence and Bishop?
No, we've got a case, or we've got a case.
We've got a case. Good luck finding that.
No, it's fine. Link this in the bottom.
Did he?
Judge, this is Kevin Herrick. May I log out?
One moment.
Wow, Kevin's got a voice I didn't expect.
Sure you didn't?
Oh, my favorite thing is, of course, Mikey sent me over.
May you do what?
40-minute.
May I log out and walk over to the courthouse?
It was late. I was tired.
In Judge Carnacel's courtroom.
Me too.
At noon.
I was having
today.
sleep.
So I figured if I can walk
We could have
over.
let you go a long time ago, Mr. Herrick, if we had the information that the court was trying to get. What are your updates? Give me just a moment, Mr. Arnold.
Spoken with.
What positions are we talking
By the way,
about
we're
first?
talking all over this because they're doing anything.
One
Just so
second.
you guys know.
Yeah, nothing's happening right this second.
Thank you.
Positions 7 and 8. Sylvester York.
Sylvester York. Let's bring Sylvester out.
I've spoken with Mr. York, Judge. You'll recall you had issued a bench warrant for him for a failure to appear on January 23rd, 2023 in position 7.
No,
and
he didn't
determined that
steal
he
it.
did have an active
No.
bond in both of those cases. So he's only in jail on the bench warrant.
Someone else
And
did.
I'm sorry, Mr. Herrick. I'm not sure what you're updating me on. I've actually already noted that positions 7 and 8 for Mr. York have been further noticed to the August 24th final plea calendar. I wasn't expecting any other information.
well, just updating the court that long story short, he was homeless.
And again, as it relates to that matter, Mr. Herrick,
Like
to the
fine,
extent
good to
that
see
you're
you.
asking
Thank
the
you.
court to
Awesome.
reconsider bond or to set
Good for
aside a
you.
bench warrant, you'll need to file an appropriate motion.
Awesome.
This is not a hearings calendar. And in the absence of a motion, it's not a matter that I intend to take up.
Well, Judge, then maybe.
December of 24, Marky.
Yes.
Marky, we'll be back to it. What do you mean when it's
And,
We've been doing it.
405.
We haven't missed a single day,
Yeah.
Marky.
Right, this is a matter of the state. I'm sorry, I don't need a record. Where is lost? I don't think I need a record, Ms. Clay. I just need the interpreter. Madam Interpreter, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear
Oh,
that
no.
the interpretation you shall provide from English to Spanish and Spanish
Oh,
to
no.
English will be true and accurate to the best of your knowledge and abilities?
I do.
Right, and thank you for working with my staff to figure out what we needed to do to get the simultaneous
Yes, Your Honor. You're
feed,
welcome.
and likewise to the Sheriff's Department. Ms. Bell, I see a note from you indicating that you understand what's happening. I received a separate note from Ms. Demmons advising that Mr. Lares would be providing some assistance later in the day. So is that the same thing?
Correct. He just wants to make sure I know how to do it, but it has to be set up when I set up the
Right.
initial.
Pro tip, Mikey is old and crotchety, just like Judge Adams 24/7. Just that on stream, he's at his best.
Man, I was about to go to bed and Kay sent me troubling news, and I'm like, oh great, now I've got to go dig into this and see what's going on. Gotta wake Creed up.
I tell you what, they're not doing so much over here. I want to see a protection order.
All right, we're going to White versus White.
That's their names.
Husband and wife.
It's their names.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. White. So you know.
Party in as we get to them. So Miss White, we're going to start with
The
you.
Whites,
I've put you a
everybody.
prompt to unmute. I'm going to ask if you would that you please raise your right hand. Do you swear any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
We'll move
Thank
to the
you.
left and you'll be into a watch
I'm
area.
going to turn my sound up just a tiny bit.
Stand
You
right underneath.
You move
were you
move
living
over.
with the respondent at the time that you filed for this protective order, April 10th?
We were living together, but he actually had left the house on March 19th.
Okay, so you were living together within the last 2 months, though, and you have 3 children together. Is that correct?
Yes, and it was actually April 7th when I filed the petition.
All right. And are you two currently married?
Yes.
All right. And forgive me, I don't think I asked this part of this question, but when you were living, to the best of your knowledge, he's a DeKalb County resident.
No,
Which is beautiful skin.
Okay. Where does he live?
I'm not sure where he lives now.
Okay. When he was living with you, he was a DeKalb County resident, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any information that he's changed a driver's license, vehicle registrations, anything like that to anywhere other than DeKalb County?
No.
Okay. And these hearings are broadcast on YouTube, so I'm cautious as best I can be
That's
about
us.
any personal information that gets revealed. But I've got a Waldrop address. Was that the marital home?
Daryl?
Yes.
Okay.
Or Michael.
Now, you describe an incident that took place around April 7th. Tell me what happened on that particular day.
Okay, so he had, like I stated, he left the house on March 19th. And
Look, I was thinking the same thing. She is really, really beautiful lady.
Terrible lighting, by the way. With the lighting.
Terrible
behind her
lighting,
from the
but
fan.
her makeup is good. Her hair is great. She is really attractive. He should have done everything he could to hold on to her. Maybe though, by the time we're done, we'll not think that. I don't know. So just remember, let's not judge books by their cover, but she does have a beautiful cover.
and he would come every Friday or Saturday, which was his off days, to come
Gotcha,
and visit the kids. April
Forgot
7th,
about
when he
that.
came in, he was supposed to be taking the kids for that weekend to his mom's house to stay and spend some time with them. And he
Shane.
was asking me about a car situation. My car got broken into and someone tried to steal it. So he was asking me about how I was going to get the kids to and from school. And I told him that I would put them on the bus, which I hadn't already
Jay got it.
had that situated, but with me not having transportation and him not being in the home, the school bus was the best option.
I'm sorry. School bus is never the good option. School bus is terrible. Creed, did you ever ride the school bus?
I
It's
did.
terrible.
I did.
Did you get bullied all the time? And
No, I didn't, thankfully.
oh, sorry. Someone was wearing as cool as you smoking cigarettes in the back of the bus.
Listen, I had one instance. It's funny because I was thinking about this not all that long ago. One instance of bullying that I could remember in my life. and I was at the bowling alley, and I remember this dude tried to pick me up by my ears. And I remember I did what every badass kid would do. You kick right behind you, right to his balls. So he dropped it very quickly. Didn't last very long. And he walked away.
Street cred, brother.
That's right.
I remember a kid in back at the bus with one of those. Remember those stretchy things that were sticky hands, like had a big giant hand on it?
Yes, I used to love it because you could get so once in a while, and they used to get me. I remember they had them at the Kmart. They had, you know, it was like a 1 in 5 chance of getting one of the big ones.
Giant, yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. God forbid you ever got dirt on those things. Ugh.
Relentlessly hitting me in the head and ear. Ride to school, ride home from school.
It just reminds me of like a kid kicking the back of a seat on an airplane for the whole flight.
I knew better than turn around or I'd catch it right in the face.
He got upset with that and called me out of my name and told me that I should go kill myself. This family will be better off without me. That then triggered me. I did get upset. And he started to record me while I was gathering my things to leave the house. Once I left the house, that's when I called and made the petition or filed the petition. And then he proceeded to call my family members and tell them that I could come back to the house to take care of the kids. I could have my life back. He will see everybody when he see them. And by the time I got back to the house, I was doing a work from home job. I had hours scheduled for that Friday and Saturday that I could not complete. And it ended up making me lose that job.
All right. And was there a part of that altercation where there was physical contact or touching?
Yes. When I got up to start getting my stuff, I asked him, what did he say? I did get in his face. And he pushed me, like he put his finger up to my nose and pushed me, and then he mushed my face. That was that incident.
So Emily gets a call right before she leaves from work, and it is her grandmother.
Concerned about your blue tent.
She was concerned about the fact that apparently a $40 check for my birthday was never cashed. Well, I go looking for it. And in the midst of trying to hurry, and I'm going through my birthday cards and pass. That's 2 times, by the way, 2 times now that you've gotten me, because now the rest, that is the back of Colty, who was all from neck all the way to his ass, was covered in confetti.
Still got it. It's still everywhere. I can't get rid of it. Every time I think I cleaned it all up, there's still some.
Still pass with this thing. Yeah. Sorry. I just wanted to, that was a funny moment, and it's all over. That was now the 2nd time with the card that you've got us.
Aggressiveness. I'm surprised. I mean, I didn't expect her to be this aggressive. She said she leapt to his face, got in his face and stuff, nose to nose. That's an aggressive stance, but smooshing people in the face, I don't know exactly. Maybe
what did she say?
He put his finger against her nose and then smushed her face.
That could hurt.
That would hurt. That's a big no-no.
Incident there, but there was a previous incident back in January of 22 where we had a disagreement. He took my phone. I went to his mom's house to get the phone back. He came up the stairs on me and kind of like pulled my hands out of my pocket and pushed me up against the wall. His uncle was standing there and told him, Caricio, you might want to calm down because your grandma is upstairs in the kitchen.
Uphill both ways.
I don't know if his mom seen the whole incident, but after she heard the commotion, she came running up the stairs and she said that.
Did you know the uncle one didn't stop him? Say, hey man, don't put your hands on her. That's not right.
Yeah, that's and then there's another odd part of that is that
y'all better cut it out. Grandma's upstairs. Is grandma a badass? Does she come down and whoop some ass if they don't calm down? Grandma gonna beat them both down.
2 fingers to the noses and go like this. And why Why are we ripping the hands out of the pockets and why are you walking around upstairs? Did she say she walked upstairs? What, did you have your hands in your pocket walking upstairs?
That'd be very strange. Maybe he thought she was hiding something. Maybe he thinks she's klepto.
Dun, dun, dun.
Both of us needed to stop fighting, which I didn't do anything to him at that point. He came up the stairs on me.
All right. I think for the moment, that's all the questions I have. Mr. White, I'm going to send you a prompt to unmute. Are there any questions that you believe I need to ask this witness, keeping in mind that typically in these cases, the parties don't necessarily agree to the facts. That's part of why we're having the hearing, and you'll still have the opportunity to testify to give your version of these events as well.
There's a huge gap in what she's saying. I really don't have any questions. I submitted all my evidence of the videos. As far as to answer your exact question, as far as any questions, do I want you to ask her? Not at the time. I feel like my testimony.
If you would, please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of
He's
perjury?
got pictures and videos.
Thank you. And
Judge Dude seems like a good guy. I like him.
I will have some questions. You'll have a little more latitude to kind of tell us what you want to tell us, because I have her petition as a guide for what I want to ask her about or what I need to ask her about. And I don't really have the same for you. If you've submitted your evidence to the clerk, then what she will do is, if you can direct her to what you're looking for or what you want displayed, then she will screen share that so we all can see. And we'll have a chance to review it, and I'll probably have a few follow-up questions with each thing that we might watch. So where would you like to begin?
I mean, we can start at the beginning. As far as what she says, as far as April 7th, me spending time with my kids at my mom's house is correct. I left the home. She's been pretty much stealing from me. She's been taking money from me. She actually, in the past 5 days, she took the state refund, which is supposed to be shared. This morning, she actually took the federal refund. As soon as it hits, 20 minutes later, she's withdrawing it.
Okay, can she get in trouble for that? I mean, they're still married. They get tax refund, and she takes it. Is that a thing? That's not cool. You know, like Carlito would say.
But as far as April 7th, we had a verbal altercation where it was a controlled altercation. And I believe this petition or the accusations to paint me as a monster is false. It's an attempt to block a 1013 form that I would like to put on her as far as getting her evaluated. Me and her have been going back and forth through counseling. I paid for counseling for her. I have nothing too much bad to say about Mrs. White. Like, she's a good mother. She provides for the children, but she's just going through a rough time in life right now, which I don't have to be with her to want the best for her. Right now, she's not being the best, reaching her best potential. She's self-medicating. She's supposed to be on antidepressants. She's refusing to take the medication.
Okay, that's the second thing he said. He said he wanted to have her evaluated. You know, which is, again, this is all feeding into a divorce that they're coming to. They're coming to a divorce. This couple's done. No more togetherness. Controlled altercation. That's like a controlled fire, like the fire department sets, I'm guessing. I've never heard of a controlled altercation, but maybe that's something new. Also didn't know what taking somebody out of their name was, but I do now. So off her medications. Okay, we'll find out. Learn a little more. She stole the money, allegedly.
She's a heavy marijuana user. As far as her job goes, she lost her job because she's not clocking in.
Smoke weed every day.
I didn't put my hands on her. She actually put her hands on me, which the evidence that I submitted 2 videos of her striking me. I submitted a picture of a bruise over my eye. I submitted 2 witness statements, which is my mother who called, my son called, my 10-year-old son or 9-year-old
Okay,
son.
well,
called.
we're gonna break some of these down. I'm not gonna review the
Okay.
witness statements because I'm not gonna get to question the witnesses, but
Okay,
pictures
cool.
and video, I'll see what Madam Clerk is able to pull up for us and we'll kind of review those as we go.
Right. As far as her putting in the petition on the 7th, it states she put it in on the 10th. And which, I mean, that's not an argument that I'm willing to have or anything about what date she put it in. I was served at work, and I actually don't have a residence. I'm actually homeless because that was the resident that we shared. I'm sleeping between my car and my work truck. I'm showering at work and
So work
at
shoot.
a coworker's house.
Oh.
So as far as I understand why she served me at work.
Well, that's all the sheriff. That's not something she has any control over, but
I mean, that's the address she put on there.
Were they pictures?
Right,
Carol?
but they have certain things that they require the petitioner to give them, including whatever, all addresses that they have. And so, you know, there are plenty of cases where somebody's parents' house or siblings' house, all that stuff ends up there because they basically tell you, give us the addresses where this person might be found, because it's their job to look. But all right, well, let me see.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. What's apple wet or apple drops or
That's
apple
it.
spit?
That's why
Again,
it made me chuckle.
Again, I have no idea. First, it was an apple, which I'm like, okay, apple. And then I got apple with water. Again,
Listen,
old men, no idea what that meant.
This is not only an educational channel, but we also learn things along the way as well, like this hottie down here who likes to smoke the pot.
Apple spit.
The devil's lettuce.
I know what channel she watches Chases on. So yeah, okay. So it's Carlito. He spits in the face of people for not being cool. Got it. Now it's apple spitting. Got it. I thought it was something sexual. I apologize for everybody watching this later on.
Speaking of thinking something sexual, Carol, Jim.
I saw the picture of her with the award too. I know what you're doing. Where are you guys siding right now? We've heard a little bit about both of these people. At first, I was firmly on the side of Mrs. White, but Mr. White's coming in with a few good points. I mean, if she is stealing the money, that's a tough one there.
That is.
I don't know how much they got back. I don't know how many kids they got. If they got 15, maybe they got a lot of money back.
It's true. I gotta say his points where, you know, she's just going through a rough time. He made it sound, I'm just saying, allegedly, he made it sound like he really cares and that it's good that they're apart right now. But you're right, though. This is the beginning of the divorce.
Yeah, they are not going to make it back.
For sure.
They're not making it back. No more controlled altercations.
Miss Broom, are you with us?
Yeah, would you like for me to pull up the first one because it's not named?
Okay, well, yeah, let's just go in order then. That'll work.
You want me to pull up these pictures?
That's okay.
We need a Madam Clerk.
Oh, I wish. Okay.
All right. So this is a picture that you indicate.
All right. This is an injury. Has this been altered in any way?
Was that during the controlled altercation? Or?
Yeah, it was like I mean, it could be rug burn. It could be anything really, but
it's kind of a small mark. I'm not.
It is.
I'm not impressed. Let's just say that.
It allegedly happened at the hands of Miss Hottie. I mean, Miss White.
Lady, you're right. This is kind of a big step here. We're showing some pictures. We're getting in. I mean, typically he just looks at things. He doesn't share a lot, ever. So
this is good.
I see you circled the injury to I'm going to call it your temple.
It's so small.
Approximately when did you take this picture?
I took the picture actually the same day after she stormed the house. After she gathered her things, she snatched a drawer out of the dresser and slung it at me.
You're talking about April 7th.
April 7th. That's correct.
All right.
That'd be more than that, Mark. I feel like
that's the injury from that. I don't know about that.
Maybe he partially blocked it.
Well,
We've
he
got-
would have had to have. Could you imagine a drawer from even a crappy one from IKEA that you put together that's basically cardboard would still leave a bigger mark than that?
Let's see what she's got to say. Maybe she'll say she did it. Maybe. Good to see a peach.
Is this a fair and accurate depiction of the contents of the picture? Has it been edited in any way other than the circle that you drew on it?
Other than me zooming in the circle. That's the other way. That's the only thing that's been on there. This was taken with the phone.
All right.
He suffers from patchy
So
beard
Ms.
syndrome,
White,
as I do.
I'll give you a prompt to unmute there. Those questions I just asked are basically the foundational questions for the admissibility of a photograph.
Recovered well. We've got a lot of court.
That is that, that it hasn't been faked or whatever. You still have the opportunity to offer testimony or ask questions about it later. But do you have any objection to it being admitted into evidence to be considered?
Yes, because I didn't touch his face at all. The only thing
Well, that's
I
a
touched-
factual dispute, but you could, that's an argument for how much weight, if any, the picture deserves, but you don't have an evidentiary reason that the picture should be excluded, correct?
No.
Okay. All right. So that'll be admitted then. Ms. Broom, what's next?
Hey. His temple.
Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry, baby. He ain't got these damn things labeled. I gotta go through all these damn things.
Debbie, next picture, please.
Credence and Bishop, can you come to the front? You have a visitor. And they didn't say who it is.
Debbie, stop opening up our mail, please.
Crazy old boy.
No, I did not. You throwing stuff around. Look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Did he just get tased? What was that sound?
It does sound like he's being tased. Yes. What did she just throw at it? Can you guys?
We'll re-rack that. But look, there's the drawer pulled out. A bunch of clothes on the floor.
Yeah. Is she moving out in a rage or?
She's rage moving. Again, listen for the taser.
She just threw clothes at him.
Allegedly.
Crazy old boy.
No, I did not. You throwing stuff around. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Why you put your hands on me?
I did not put my hand on you.
Why are you doing this in front of these kids?
She ain't got no bra on.
Low hanging fruit. Am I right?
I didn't see her put her hands on him as he just declared. You always have to be very cautious when somebody is recording something that they're hoping to use against somebody like this. It's only alleged.
She did throw something at him, though.
She did throw something. It wasn't a drawer. Maybe he meant a pair of drawers.
No, he said dresser.
Oh.
Okay.
Say dresser.
Can you run that one more time, Ms. Broom? Sorry.
Yes.
I guess so.
Oh, his guys in the truck are re-racking it too.
Look at that. Flawless.
Yeah, good point, Carrie.
Crazy old boy.
No, I did not.
Carrie, you're right.
You throwing stuff around. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Why you put your hands on me?
I did not put my hand on you.
Why are you doing this in front of these kids?
Again.
All right. Thank you. Has that video been
I noticed that too. Like
altered or edited digitally in any kind of way?
Yes, Your Honor, they enlarged my feet because they was huge. She got giant feet for a woman.
They look giant, didn't they, in the Adidas sandals? God bless.
As far as altered, no. Edited, yes, to fit the file on there because it was like maybe
You can only send in clips that are below
yeah.
a certain size.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So the
that's
technical
why
limitations that the court has placed upon you have turned that into a clip. How long was the original video?
I want to say 7 minutes.
Goodness.
But most of it was just her going up and down the steps, going through like a meltdown, a medical
With a
not
hot bowl of
medical,
chili
but
or
just a mental breakdown.
hot pot of
Packing
chili?
her things and just
Hot
storming
pot
the
of beans.
house.
Black eyed.
the videos that I have as far as clip, that was me and her face to face. And the other things were just, I guess, the kids coming to hug me or just saying, "Well, stop."
All
Other
right.
pieces of the video, them congratulating me on winning the
Ms.
Nobel
Broom,
Prize, Your Honor.
well, Ms. White, do you have any objection
Way to kink shame us there,
from an
Jeff.
evidentiary standpoint to the admission of the video?
No.
Okay. So admitted as Exhibit 2. Ms. Broom, can you pull up whatever you have next?
That's it.
I
Yeah,
can
how does that
definitely
work for
overlook
women.
I'll
Okay.
overlook those feet all day.
All right.
No problem.
Mr. White, anything else you would like to tell us today?
I disagree with it being the petition or the order being extended for a year. This 4 weeks haven't been a long 4 weeks. This is the longest I've been away from my children and their existence of this earth. And I care for Ms. White, and I just want her to get better. I just want her to be the best version that she can be as a person, to be the best mother she can be. I have no quarrels with her. I'm not mad at the situation, even her taking the money or anything like that, because she's just really in survival mode. Before the court even ordered me to continue to pay, her rent there or whatnot, I had all intention to do that, because at the end of the day, I'm a man, and if she has possession or possession of the kids, if that's the right term to use, that's where my kids lay their head. So I'm not a monster. She's telling everybody I'm a deadbeat over these past 4 weeks, that I won't come see my kids. And the truth of the matter is, I can't. There's an order of protection on me that says I have to stay 100 yards away from her and minor children, which I've followed to the T. I just want to put this behind us.
Is that normal?
I mean, it's a temporary protective order going on right now. I mean, we're here.
I know, but he just said, did you hear how he just said that about staying away from minor children? Or did he say the minor children? That sound.
I don't know. I think he's rehearsed it a little bit and he's read it right off the paper.
Okay.
So-
Well, that, I don't know. Just the way he just said that makes me wonder if there was maybe something big that we didn't. Okay.
I think it's just the wording on the paperwork. Don't read too much into it, Cree. And I don't believe a word he's saying, by the way.
Good point. Yeah.
Because it's not hurting me or her. It's really hurting our children that are very advanced and excelling academically. And it's a sad story.
All right. Ms. White, anything else today?
Yes. As far as the part about him saying he's not able to contact his children or see the children, when I did the first hearing by myself,
Love the name.
Judge Kemp, I believe that was his name. I specifically asked him to put a part in there that says that Caricio could come and see his kids at the school, at school functions, and we can do a safe exchange at his mom's house. He did add that in there. However, Caricio has not made any attempt to see them or call them or come to any of the school events.
So I will tell you, just for the sake of making sure we're all on the same page here, I see some of the language that you're referencing, and I don't think the way that you're describing it, and I don't mean this to in any way imply that I think you're being untruthful about this, but the way that order got written up, I don't think really reflects what you've discussed here today. And what I mean by that is it's written to allow him to see the children at school and at school events under the supervision of what reads like school employees. And for the part of the screen, for what I can see when I look at it, it does not include any language about custody exchange or visitation like through a family.
Is that the school's responsibility to monitor him when he comes to school events? And I mean, and comes to see his kids do things at school? I mean, that's kind of weird. That seems outside the realm of their job. perhaps.
Right. I this is where it gets real messy when you're talking about with the TPO and stuff, and when you got the children involved. I hate the way that he said that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Isn't there that's where the child advocacy people come into play though, right? Remember we've ran across that before, where you had to hire. Remember they were talking about the money during one case, that rich couple. I remember that where they were talking about how much it was to hire those advocacy people to help with the kids.
And I know they do a lot of the like meetings under supervision. I want to say it's called Mia's Place for them here. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a few things, but I got to give her credit. There was a few outlandish things that he said throughout this, and he said some things, and she stayed stone-faced the entire time, the way you're supposed to. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't see her make any which we see, which is very common, and we see very often people making faces, of course, through all these
faces.
Oh, very awkward. Like to the point where I wouldn't even want to go and be a part at that point.
Yeah,
do it.
Can you come over here and watch me, my kids?
Yeah.
No, that'd be way too much. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You got to pay for that kind of thing.
Family member, and so I think that it could have been. I won't bore you with the technical details of how our forms work, but it is very common that sections get cut short if there is too much written in them. And I suspect what happened is that some of the things that you and the judge discussed were incorporated in the order, but the way that the order displays in the system due to the technology constraints caused some of that language to be lost. And so I think Mr. White, for whatever it's worth, in this respect, you made I guess I'm going to call it the right decision. I don't know. You would have been putting yourself in some sort of legal jeopardy had you either tried to take the kids from the school or had someone else take the kids from the school on your behalf, based on what I see written in the order right now. And so, at present, Miss White, you're living in the Waldrop home with the children. Is that right?
Correct.
And if the order were extended 12 months, so long as it remained marital property, it would be your wish to remain there with the children. Is that correct?
For now, yes.
All right. All right. I have a. Well,
okay.
Go ahead.
When he filed the continuance, I do see on here, well, it's not the whole thing that was there the first time. And like I said, the dates were conflicting because I filed on the 7th. After we got into the altercation, that's when I left the house, and in the car is when I called to file the TPO.
What time of day was that?
That was, I want to say around 3 or 4 p.m. on April 7th.
So I'll just tell you, if the file stamps that go on the paperwork are based on when they are received and filed by the clerk. Okay. And so you're telling me Friday afternoon was when you sent it in, but there's already a whole pile of paperwork from the work that's been done between 8:30 and 3 on Friday that those clerks are working their way through. And so maybe yours got in the queue. You know, you click send on Friday, but if it's Friday after a certain time, somewhere in that afternoon, there's going to be a cutoff where that paperwork remains in the queue till Monday. I'm not worried about that either way, but what I want to sort out for today, Ms. White, what is the situation as far as bank accounts and access to resources? Because I know you two are still married. Is there a joint account or separate accounts or what?
There's separate accounts and one joint account.
Okay.
How much money's in there?
None, after she just got done cleaning it out. From what he
good
said.
point. Good point.
She done took out. She done took out the
and based on
federal
what you
and state
expressed here
returns.
today, it's your wish that the children are able to spend time with Mr. White.
Must be,
understood you correctly.
We haven't heard anything about that yet.
Yeah, zero talk about legitimation or anything like that. So I'm guessing his name is on the birth certificates and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. So that
shouldn't be an issue. I don't know if they had children outside of wedlock. I don't know.
So we have the ability to provide for supervised exchange, which is it is a process where the children can be dropped off and picked up by each of you without either of you interacting with each other in a safe and supervised setting. And so I will say this.
Yeah.
The standard of proof in these hearings is much lower than it would be, for example, in a criminal court. And what I'm going to do is I am going to extend the protective order that was put in place, and I will be very clear in the order that supervised exchange will be provided for through Nia's place as part of that order. And so there is a very manageable orientation process. That one can go through. I guess both of you technically go through it. And when that's done, then it will provide for custody exchange and
now, Judge,
and the other conditions for the most part.
Is he getting choked up?
Will
What's going
mirror
on?
what was
I don't
in the
know.
ex parte protective order that was issued.
Don't raise your hand.
On or about the 12th or 13th. I think
somebody
the
plug
judge
in
filled it
Judge
out on the
Egerton,
12th, and
please.
like your petition, it was filed and processed the next
Running out of
business
juice.
day. And so that's.
I mean, I see a couple of you talking about what was the evidence and things like that. I guess there, you know, I don't know if he's going to talk more about this, but I mean, there's enough there to show that there's something going on between the two of them instead of trying to go and set up something completely new. He's just extending the one that's already in play,
which makes sense. I think that'd be a lot easier.
Yeah, he's just continue on with that. But you know, if the guy does want to see his kids and things like that, that's a tough one because he's got to go jump through some hoops and things like that to have that go on.
It's going to contain language that awards temporary custody.
Well, he kind of did if she got all the money out of the account. So.
Temporary primary custody.
I don't know how much it was.
To the petitioner in orders that nobody tamper with or interfere with any access to any billing, banking, or accounting that needs to be done on behalf of the children, the household, or each other. And Mr. White, in the near term, are there any belongings that you need to retrieve for yourself in the short run? Okay, I see you nodding. I'll provide for a law enforcement
living in his
escort
truck
that you arrange through the sheriff's office, and they schedule the time to do so. Miss White, they will reach out to you about that time, and you can, I suppose, make whatever decision you are comfortable with in regards to, or talk to the sheriff about what your options are. Some people insist on being there and just keeping their distance. Some people insist on not being there and just letting someone in and getting out of the way, so to speak.
By the looks behind him, he's got a nice looking truck, by the way.
That's one hell of a truck. I don't know what kind it is. I think it's one of those F-150s.
It is a nice HVAC system and all, heating and air.
He's living out of the truck.
But you can make that decision, but that will essentially be the substance of the order because it is a family violence order. I believe I'm required to have the respondent attend family violence intervention. And so we will have him speak with Mr. Ellis in a breakout room about that with a compliance date of 6/9, which will be a Friday, 1 month from today. Typically, if you're current on your classes and provide the information to the compliance officer in advance, you get excused from court and don't need to come in. So, Miss White, we're going to place you in the place you in the waiting room, and you'll be free to log off. Mr. White, we're going to place you in a breakout room, and Mr. Ellis, our compliance officer, will join you shortly.
Can I ask a question before we leave?
Sure.
Is there any way that, okay, now, so I have to take family violence classes. And so basically she proved her case that I did family violence towards her in front of the kids because of what she stated.
My ruling is that it is more likely than not that there has been some act of family violence that justifies issuing an order. That is essentially what it boils down to. And so it's not, in a criminal trial, you would have a series of allegations about somebody and you're giving a thumbs up or thumbs down on every piece of every single allegation. And this is not really a hearing that's structured that way. It's it's sort of a broader bird's eye view. And so, what both of you need, and this is a separate conversation, is that it seems very clear that this is heading for a divorce, and delaying that does not help anybody. It doesn't help either of you, and it doesn't help the children. And one of the reasons that that's important is because the things that go in this order are truly temporary. 12 months feels like a long time, but in many ways it will go by quickly, especially if there are other court proceedings that you're waiting on. And that is what that divorce process is what figures out more complete, more thorough parenting plans, just how houses and bank accounts and bills and all those things get handled.
Reno, Mr.
Through
Bright?
the divorce. And so, and that includes, I know, because you made some claims as part of your case, Mr. White, that you believe that that there were issues you would have liked to see the petitioner address. And often that kind of thing comes up in the divorce, whether a judge will agree and look into anything further than what comes out in court, or whether they will outright order anything. Every case is unique. And so every case we try to do the best we can at all stages of this process to give a fair hearing to everybody and make the decision that we think is appropriate based on the facts and the law as we believe them to be. And so, but that's just another example of there are some things that come up in this court that this court is not well equipped to handle that other courts are. And so that'll be where we kind of stand on things right now. So Ms. White, I'm sorry, Mr. White, yes?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Is there any way that we can zip the firearm clause? And also I travel for work or whatnot, having this TPO on me. I lost my TSA pre-pass and my global entry in and out the country.
Those are things that are outside the jurisdiction of the court, unfortunately. So it's basically a provision of federal law that says, if this is in place, here's what happens. And there's not so there's not a provision for me at the local level to step in and say, but do this one different.
I mean, I know, like, if you go to like Canada or somewhere, if you've got anything like this, you're not getting into Canada.
I figured that the most parts of it, but I figured you could potentially petition for some sort of a change, because I mean every situation's so different. But wow, again, it shows the gravity of these protection orders. That's a perfect example.
Kind of odd that he wanted to take away the him being able to have a firearm. That was kind of a bold move.
In simplest terms, they outranked me.
All right. I understand. I appreciate your time today.
All right. We'll place you in the breakout room, and Miss White, we're going to place you in the waiting room. Miss White, you're free to log off. And Mr. White,
you're free to roam about the country, just not outside of said country.
Right. Hey, by the way, Judge Dude, I like that he's throwing out some info there.
Yeah, little truth bombs. I like it.
Yeah, like about the divorce, a little advice there on his side. I like this. It's almost like he's evolving a little bit here. I like this. Or we just haven't seen him really do that before.
He's stepping outside of his wheelhouse just a little bit,
Right.
which is good, because we like that. We see another side of the judge. We've seen him get a little angry in the past couple of weeks. But for him to drop that on them and say, look, you need to call it quits. Got to call it quits. I think he did a good job. I mean, it was a month TPO, and now it's 12 months. And that gives them time to work out everything that's going on inside the divorce as well. Get that squared away.
Hi, Jared. He's waving to us. I'm really on the fence on that one, but I guess if you think about it, the way that Judge Dude just said that there's enough evidence there to say that there was some violence there. There was some fighting, I can see that side of it for sure.
Yeah, the snatching her hands out of her pocket, trying to grab things from her. We've learned we learned that those are things you do not do.
Yeah.
You don't do it.
Interesting. Well, guys, it was fun. Let's jump on out of here. We'll be back 405 East for, well, I guess Taco Tuesday, because today is the Eat a Taco Express down there.
Oh, baby. Yes, it is. Make sure, if you haven't already liked our video, you do it now. Before Creed gets to the end of this long, winding train.
The Eat a Taco Express, a.k.a. Monetary Model Rail. Thank you, guys. Gary Flusha and his 15 kids, Annie Am and Angela.
Oh, you're done already? Never. Oh, sorry. I thought I had more time. I was about to go take a drink, use the bathroom.
405 East.
We got some craziness coming up, Creed. We're going to go to Australia and see somebody get knocked off of an e-scooter.
Okay. I like that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I wanted to remind everybody who is a member of We Got a Case channel, our first members only. And I believe it's going to be from here on out.
Probably.
Will be Wednesday. It'll be tomorrow. Those of you watching live, tomorrow, Wednesday, 5:30 East.
30. We're going to watch really a lot of stuff. We're going to put some stuff together for you guys. Members only. We'll give it a try tomorrow, see how it works. If you guys like the format that we have, we'll go forward with it. If not, oh well. That's what we're going to do. Appreciate you guys. We love you. We'll see you soon. Take care. Adios. Sayonara. Top Guys out.
We found out today that a lot of our viewers have big feet, like Courtney said.
Yeah, big feet. Do you know what size feet your wife has?
I have no clue. You want me to go smell? I mean, look at her shoe?
No, just didn't know if you'd ever bought her a pair of shoes.